Wow. HSBC, mortgage fraud, insanity. Okay. Absolute crazy town. Wow. So, premier investigative journalist in this whole country, the guy who's the best expert on strange doings from overseas money, is a guy by the name of Sam Cooper. Sam Cooper is one of the best journalists ever in this whole country. He was proven everything he ever said going on wrong in BC casinos, foreign money, criminal elements, money laundering, was proven true at the Cullen Commission in British Columbia. But let's get back to this. Like, what's going on with HSBC and mortgage fraud? Now, let's be clear. Almost all the mortgage fraud in Canada, we've done shows on this before, all the mortgage fraud in Canada is mortgage document fraud. What does that mean? It means that people want to buy houses. They have enough down payment because in this particular case, the down payment has been sifted into the country from overseas, but the incomes don't work. Like, the incomes don't work because a lot of these people who are interested in buying lots of houses, they've moved a lot of money into the country for down payment, but they don't actually work. I mean, they're really the spouses and children of people offshore who have the money, who send these people over here to become citizens and permanent residents, and they're here and they get put into that position of being permanent residents or citizens, and then they start receiving money from other countries to buy houses. I mean, look, this is not a bunch of stuff, BS and stuff. This is just facts. I mean, I'm not even actually mad about it. I'm mad about mortgage fraud, but I'm not mad about the fact that people move money into Canada to buy houses from other countries. So I think we need to control it in a way, but I'm not mad. All right. So let's talk about what the heck happened at this HSBC. So we got classic examples of document fraud. So unlike other banks in Canada, HSBC is the Canadian arm of an international bank, a bank that is essentially the main shareholders are out of China, and the headquarters is in London, and they have tons and tons of different bank operations all across Europe, United States, all across Asia. HSBC is a huge worldwide bank, and they're designed to look after clients who have money in many countries. That's what they are. But here's what the breakdown is here. Sam Cooper discovered a whistleblower inside of HSBC. That's someone who was pointing out bad actions, bad policy, bad goings on to the bank itself, right straight to the directors, to the executives, and said that, I think there's a bunch of shenanigans going on here in the mortgage department. So Sam has intensely interviewed this whistleblower, who goes, obviously he's a whistleblower, he's trying to keep it undercover, and says, okay, here's what happened. All right, this is a new one. Usually when we get fake income documents in Canada, fake tax documents in Canada, they're Canadian. But in this case, it was HSBC accepting fake income from overseas. Fake employment documents, fake income from overseas. Give you a quick example. We have a part-time hair stylist in Canada. She's living in Canada full-time. She's just part-time hairstylist, and she eventually grows her real estate empire to 3 very large houses in the GTA. She's purchased, but the mortgages were from HSBC, and they were using an employment letter from a Shanghai company that said, yeah, she's maybe a hairstylist in Canada, but in Shanghai, she's actually a highly paid executive. I don't know why, she makes $538,000 Canadian a year in Shanghai, right? No, that's crazy. Of course not. It's total BS. But HSBC accepted the Shanghai income, and this woman's ended up with like $7 million worth of houses, okay? Now, the down payment also from overseas, but that's fine. If you bring it into the country like longer than 90 days, it's normally not a big issue. Just let it go. And it was all money that was transferred into HSBC anyway from overseas, so their compliance departments would have approved it anyway. Bottom line is, buying houses on a basis of income that's not even rational. Like, why would you be a part-time hairstylist in Toronto when actually you're simultaneously, like at exactly the same time as you're being a part-time hairstylist and living here, you're also a highly placed executive in Shanghai making $538,000 Canadian. Like, makes no goddamn sense at all. Whistleblower brought it to HSBC's attention, but at the end of the day, nothing really happened. Now, believe me, this is my business. Mortgage is my business. Other banks are not doing this. Like the Canadian banks, you give them a job letter from Shanghai, they just say, well, I don't know how we're ever going to prove this. And, we need tons of bank statements in Shanghai. We need to see the money going into it. We were not really even comfortable doing it. But HSBC was, because, part of HSBC is in the words of their name of their company, the HS is Shanghai. Okay, so let's face it. I mean, they have correspondent banks in those areas. So somehow it got pushed through. But now, should we worry about this? Hey, RBC has bought HSBC. RBC Bank has bought HSBC, so that whole regime is gone. As of some point in April, they're going to transition the entire bank. All going to be RBC rules, RBC underwriting, RBC mortgage scrutiny. So that's going to be gone, okay? But a lot of people say to me, well, what are we going to do? I mean, this whistleblower has pointed this stuff out. There's more than one thing. There's this ridiculous hairstylist who's also an executive in Shanghai at the same time. What are we going to do? Shouldn't there be a big investigation? Shouldn't that woman get in trouble? So here's the most important thing I can tell you about mortgage document fraud in Canada. If there's no losses to the bank, the cops won't investigate. This woman could actually even admit she falsified the documents. She would never be charged. That's not the way Canada works. So, and right or wrong, I'm just telling you the facts, all right? So, because if the bank didn't lose money, if she's making the mortgage payments, there's no losses, there's no charges. All right. We don't like it, but it's a fact.